afternoon, folks. How are we doing? It's good to be here. It is good to be here. Oh, good grief. We've got to start with the apology again, haven't we? No, but I genuinely I am sorry that the schedule has just been so completely wrecked the last month or so. And that's a combination of factors, really. I mean, firstly, my day job has been very, very busy. I kind of try and build in my lunch chat streams, so both this one on Mondays and the with games ones on Wednesdays, around my day job, when I can predict what my lunch break will be. And of late, it's been a case of, look, I've had meetings either side, and it's the meeting before lunch could overrun, potentially. And the meeting afterwards, I can't push back. So I in that case, I've gone, look, I can't stream just because it's too much of a gamble. I have to let someone down, and either way, that would be very, very bad. So there's that. I have done some with games ones, kind of since Christmas. My stream has been more of those with games, so kind of board game style stuff, and puzzle games. Yeah, I mean, essentially just those are easier, to be honest. It's one of those, without going into the whole politics of it all, normally I like to comment on current events and stuff like that, but with everything that's happening globally right now, it's like, if I'm going to stream something fun, and let's focus on that rather than going down that rabbit hole. And I'm very aware of the fact that I'm in a privileged position where I can just try and ignore some of this stuff. Let's leave that one there. But I'm back. I'm gonna try and keep the schedule as best I can, and that's kind of the mantra of it. I will do the best I can. I know that I'm not going to be able to always keep the schedule. If I can't keep the schedule, I'll try and adjust it a little bit. So if I can't do a Monday, I'll do a Tuesday. But there may just be weeks where I just can't do it, and I'll do the best I can. There we go. So let's run through some what's been going on recently. I mean, there's a lot to talk about. And as I say, a lot not to talk about on this one, but let's touch on some little bits and pieces. Let's go media stuff first of all. So I managed to see a couple of weeks back, actually. I saw Captain America, Brave New World in the cinema. I very much enjoyed it. It is not a perfect movie. I think there are, honestly, really, literally, I have two complaints with that film. Firstly, I think that the introduction, I think that the start of the film is very heavy-handed on exposition, and I think it's necessary. I think it's not unreasonable to say at this stage, without going too deep into spoiler territory, that large elements of that plot are a sequel to the 2008 Incredible Hulk movie, the one with Edward Norton. That picks up a lot of strands from that. And that was a long time ago now. It's now 2025. So expecting people to remember all of those threads, I totally understand you've got to stick exposition in there. And there will equally be people who never seen it, because one, it was the second MCU movie. A lot of people who watch MCU movies, oh good grief, weren't born then. And also, it was kind of, large elements of it were ignored for a very, very long time. It was kind of, I think some people were worried about whether it was canon or not. So, yeah. So there was some heavy-handed exposition in the starting bits of that movie. I think literally my only other complaint is that there's a scene kind of near the end, kind of in the final fight bit, where the CG's bad. Actually, the CG is bloody fantastic. The VFX are generally very, very good. There is one little bit of that scene that's got some very dodgy compositing, in my opinion. As in, like, you can see, you can see that Sam Wilson is there, and clearly the actor's been filmed on a green screen. As happens for an awful lot of filming, for a lot of things. But this one bit where you go, that background looks a little wonky. But that was it. Otherwise, absolutely enjoyed it. Thought it was really, really good. Loved the tone of it. I thought the plot was interesting. I liked the it felt a bit like going back to Winter Soldier, especially again with that kind of tone and sort of espionage element to it. And I'd like to see more of that. I thought it was really, really good. Also, on a Marvel note, I have started watching the new Daredevil series. I'm not going to spoil anything. I think the big spoiler is mostly out there, but I'm still not going to say it. I've watched the first episode. I've not watched the second episode yet. First episode, I very, very much enjoyed. I thought it was wonderful to see these characters again. I'm not going to comment on the spoiler thing. But other than the fact that it works, it sets the tone for the series. But it's wonderful to see these actors playing those roles again, beyond little bits of them. I did very quickly realise though, oh, I didn't watch the Echo series. I should probably do that at some point. Because obviously Wilson Fisk is in that. So I'd last seen Vincent D'Onofrio's Fisk in Hawkeye, which was wonderful to see him again. And obviously we've seen Charlie Cox's Matt Murdock in Spidey 3, No Way Home, and in She-Hulk, which I thoroughly enjoyed. But it's nice to see him, get to play kind of the recurring version of him. Which is wonderful. So yeah, I very much enjoyed that first episode. I will hopefully get a chance during a lunchtime or an evening or something this week to watch the second episode, and I'm not quite sure what the schedule is. I imagine there'll be a third episode out by the time I watch the second episode, but there we go. But very much enjoying it. That has been awesome. What else? Oh, good grief. Our cats have been a bit of a nightmare of late. They are adorable. But we have 2 kittens. They are, about 9-10 months, something like that. And we're currently in the situation of dealing with the neutering of these cats. They're a boy and a girl, they're brother and sister. We had to get the boy Gizmo neutered a couple of months ago, because he was clearly coming into his own and trying to mount his sister. So we had to keep them separated. We had to get him done. Fortunately, nothing came of that. That got dealt with. And now Widget, the girl, is now getting very frustrated, which is somewhat hysterical. Because, she's clearly in heat. And I don't know what sweet nothing she's whispering to her brother. But he is sort of... He's mounting her, but doesn't know what to do anymore. Any instinct he has gone with the neutering, so he is looking very confused. She is looking very frustrated. They are off to the vets. She is off to the vets on Wednesday to get that sorted. There you go. Because while I have had cats before, we've had 3 cats. We got them post being kittens, really. So this is the first time I have to go through the fun of getting cats neutered. But there we go, it'll be done, sorted. But yes, it has been some amount of bedlam in our house with hormonal cats. But there you go. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Quick swig of drink before we carry on. So, what else? Well, let's talk a little bit about Shought Thorts stuff. So, for those who don't know, I produce a bite-sized interview show called Shought Thorts. Each episode is 13 to 15 minutes long, where I interview someone from the gaming industry, either like the tabletop role-playing game industry or the wider kind of gaming industry. We are coming up to the end of season 2 with that. So I intended for each season, essentially space of time before I take a little hiatus, to be back 10 episodes. I have failed on both counts. The first one was 9 episodes. This one is 9 episodes as well. So at least I'm consistent in my failure, there's that. But I very much enjoyed working on this second season. The last episode to come out was Cypher of Tears episode. That was a week ago, last Friday, which got a good response, which was excellent. And then the final episode of the season is Anya, better known as Lalian Cosplays episode, that is coming out this Friday. And that's another wonderful episode from a wonderful creator, professional games master. Really, really enjoyed that one, and it's a nice one to wrap the series up with, I think. So I will chuck a link in chat. In fact, I'll chuck a link to the whole playlist. So you've got this one here. if it wants to work. Maybe it doesn't want to work. There we go. So that's the link in both the Twitch and the YouTube chats. So please take a moment to go and have a look at them. And this kind of comes onto my. Let's do the big plea, and then we'll talk about the future of this, because I've started this one. So I'm currently on the road to YouTube partner. Followers doing really, really well on. I'm concerned that there may be an element of bots in there, but from a analytics perspective, it sort of doesn't matter. But I'm over 2,000 followers on YouTube, which is really, really cool. I did do a little YouTube advertisement that helped an awful lot with that, which was great. I need to up my watch hours though. I need to get to 3,000 hours of my YouTube channel watched in the last 365 days. To get any form of monetization, and even then that's not really monetization. That allows me to do some advertising and premium memberships and stuff like that. I need to get to 4,000 before I get any ad revenue. We are on like about 300, so we've got a long way to go. So my plea here would be to firstly, if you are watching this, please take the time to watch some of my content. Especially short thoughts. There's like 4.5 hours of short thoughts out there now. So please, if you've not watched all those episodes, please watch them. Have them on in the background while you get on with stuff. That would be wonderful. Recommend them to other people. I said each person who watches the whole series, that's 4.5 hours of content out there. Plus I've got all my streams, all my VODs, and all that kind of good stuff out there. So if you want to watch some of my playthroughs and stuff like that, or if you just want to help me out and just leave a playlist running overnight, that would be wonderful. Because once I get to monetization, that would just be a huge help to me, because currently I'm kind of making short thoughts and stuff like that for free. I have subscriptions that I need to pay for, like Zoom and stuff like that. And that just comes out of my profits from any little bit of fear sales and stuff like that, and a little bit of Ko-Fi support on that one. So the sooner I can monetize, the better. But it's a big old milestone to get. So anything that can help support with that, very much appreciated. What's next for Short Thoughts? Well, there will be a season 3. I'm enjoying doing it. I really am. I think I really enjoyed season 1. Season 2 I think is even better. I think I think the quality of the interviews themselves is better. The quality of the editing has improved as I get better and better at using Final Cut Pro and various little tricks I can do in the edits of that one. And I mean, getting some wonderful, wonderful guests, and obviously the more wonderful, wonderful guests I get, the easier it is to convince other people to join. And so I've already got a list of some people I'm hoping to reach out to, some people who have already agreed to it, which is great. But it's going to be a little bit of time before I start recording them. I am very aware that it takes me, it just takes a lot of time to do the recording and editing of Short Thoughts, which is fine. I enjoy it, other than subtitling. Subtitling sucks, but it is absolutely vital, and I will never cut a corner on it. It is 100% vital. I would not be putting out Short Thoughts if it didn't have subtitles on it. So while I don't enjoy doing the subtitles, which is essentially correcting the YouTube auto-generated subtitles, I will make sure I always do it and do it properly. But otherwise, I really love making Short Thoughts. Both the prepping for it, the recording of it, and the post-production of it. So there will be a season 3. I'm just going to wait a little while to do it, because I need to do writing, essentially. I need to be working on a lot of stuff related to Little But Fierce, and I need to do a lot of work on that for the next couple of months. So I'm going to take this hiatus from Short Thought stuff. I will probably get the gears back going again in the summer, so that late summer, early autumn, you're starting to see season 3 episodes. But I want to get a wider range of guests on there. I'm hoping to reach out to some more big names. I want to do some more duo episodes. I really enjoyed doing the duo episode with Lucky Fox Studio. So I want to do more of them, and I've got some names lined up for that, which is exciting. So there will be more of that, but not for a little while. But in the meantime, rewatch the other episodes. It will really help me, and I think they're a lot of fun. So let's talk a little bit about Little But Fierce. Well, there's a couple of things I need to be doing with Little But Fierce. If you don't know what Little But Fierce is my rewrite of Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition to make it more accessible for kids. Specifically, I have kind of rewritten the whole thing, start to finish, to make sure that the language is more accessible, the rules are simplified. I've removed kind of harmful, antiquated tropes and scary things. So you've got a version of 5e that is more accessible for kids. In fact, you can be playing with kids from really as young as 6, which is awesome. Now, I've got the Starter Edition out there, and along with a few digital add-ons. I am currently working on what I'm calling the Hero Edition, which is going to be the Kickstarted physical edition, which my goal is for that Kickstarter to actually go live in the start of next year, and I'll be doing all the pre-work this year, and I'll have a landing page for it end of the summer, I think is the hope for this one, or autumn at the latest. So I'm going to start to get some momentum on that one, which would be good. I'm a long way into it. I mean, some of the big stuff I need to finish off. I've got 1.5 classes left to write. I am wrapping up writing the Monk class. And then I've got the interesting challenge, which is the Tinkerer class, which is going to be my ode to an Artificer, because Artificers are not in Creative Commons. So I have to kind of do that one from scratch, but I am very much looking forward to that. And then I've got a lot more creatures to do, a lot more magic items, a few more rules in there, and I want to have some random tables in there as well. I want to have some like random encounter tables and stuff like that, which is my kind of ode to some of the things I really liked in Warhammer Quest, if you're old enough to appreciate that reference. But so I've got a lot to do, and then there will be questions to do with art and stuff like that. But my artist is indeed lurking in the room, which is kind of awesome. So I'm really looking forward to us starting to get work on some of that. So I've got a lot to do, but it doesn't feel insurmountable to me, which is great. More immediately, though, I am working on the 3rd anniversary release. So essentially, on the anniversary of the release of the Starter Edition, for the last 2 years, I put out a free add-on. The first one was a single page, the second one was 4 pages of nice, simple stuff. The first one gave you dog and cat races, or kin rather, so I should actually use my own language here. So that's dog folk and cat folk. The second one was called 6 Impossible Things. That added 6 things from Alice in Wonderland, because that's all wonderfully public domain, including the original artwork. This one, I will not say what it is yet. It's a bit less ambitious than the Alice in Wonderland one, but I've got a solid idea. I have artwork. Looking forward to putting that out there. I was slightly worried that I wasn't going to come up with something, or the idea I'd come up with was too ambitious and I wouldn't have time to do it, but this should be good. I think it'll be probably a 2-pager. It'll be a nice little free release that will come out at the end of April. I want to say 30th of April off the top of my head, but I will signpost that better in future. But no, that's going well. That's going well. And I am thinking with some of the Hero Edition stuff, I might stream some of that. We'll see what that looks like. Because I have done some creative streams in the past. I don't want to overcommit, because I'm terrible at overcommitting, but yeah, it'll be nice to do some of them, even if it's just kind of lo-fi chat sort of stuff. But yeah, I want to share some of that creative process with you. So we will see. We will see. Right. Last big one on this one. So I'm going to try my best, and again, this is on the don't overcommit day thing. I'm going to try and do some evening streams this week. And the reason for that is there is currently a fundraising campaign out called Oh My Gosh, which raises money for Great Ormond Street Hospital. Now, the reason I'm doing this, I mean, One Great Ormond Street Hospital is an amazing charity for anyone, I think it's definitely worthy of fundraising for. The reason why I specifically want to do it is, and I have mentioned this on streams before, but I think it's worth talking about. When I was 6 years old, I was in Great Ormond Street Hospital with the kids. I had kidney failure. One of my kidneys wasn't working at all. In fact, it was necrotizing, so for the non-medical people in the room, essentially it was rotting. And I was incredibly ill. And you know, if it hadn't been dealt with, it would have killed me. So I had my kidney removed there. I went back every year for many years to have tests done to check that I was okay. and I am alive and well. But I'm alive and well because of Great Ormond Street Hospital. So I will look for any opportunity to raise money for Great Ormond Street. It is a wonderful charity who help people out in the toughest of times. So I'm going to look to try and do some charity streams during the evenings this week, and maybe at the weekend as well. We'll see how we get on with scheduling on that one. Even if it's little things, I just want to do something. You know, I love doing big ambitious projects, but this can't be a big ambitious project, alas. So I'm just going to do some little streams. Specifically, what I'd like to do, the main thing I'm definitely going to do is I'm going to stream playing Alex Kidd in Miracle World, or specifically the remaster of it. Now, the reason that I want to play that specific game is because I first played the game Alex Kidd in Miracle World on the Sega Master System, the original Sega Master System, in Great Ormond Street Hospital when I was 6 years old. They had a games console and a big old CRT TV, and I first played a games console at Great Ormond Street Hospital back in, what would this be, 1991, 1992? So I'm going to play that on stream for the first time for a very, very, very long time. It's an impossibly hard game. I am not going to win, but I want to play it, and I feel it feels thematically appropriate that I play it to raise money for Great Ormond Street Hospital. Depending how we get on with that, I may also go on some other retro games, or I might play a more modern Sonic game that I picked up that is in the style of those classic Sonic games. I think that would be thematically appropriate as well to do that one. The other thing I would like to do, and this is a time commitment thing, we'll see how my week is looking, and it may be that I go outside of the main oh my gosh week, but I think I'll still be able to raise money on Tiltify for it either way, is I'm tempted to do a bit of a book read, is what I'm thinking. Now, there's a few different aspects to this. So, to give a little bit of background on this one, excuse me, still a little under the weather here. So, for those who don't know, Great Ormond Street Hospital have a very close relationship with Peter Pan. Specifically, the author J.M. Barrie gave the performance rights to the Peter Pan play to Great Ormond Street Hospital. So, in the UK, if you want to perform the original Peter Pan play, you have to get permission from Great Ormond Street Hospital. And when they give permission, you have to give a certain percentage of your earnings to the Great Ormond Street charity. And this is not just a simple arrangement, to the degree that when Peter Pan was going into the public domain, as happens after a certain number of years after the author's death, the UK government actually put into law that this would still be maintained. That it's a specific example, and I think perhaps the only one here, that these rights will be maintained by Great Ormond Street Hospital for the Peter Pan play. So I have had an ambitious project for a while. That's not happening this year. I tried to make it happen last year and scheduled, it just didn't work out. I still want to do it. That I actually have permission from Great Ormond Street Hospital to put on a streamed production of Peter Pan. I reached out, I explained what I wanted to do, and it was essentially take the original J.M. Barrie script, adapt it for streaming, make some changes to it, limited changes, beyond changing the medium. I mean, essentially the changes largely relate to we're going back to historical, antiquated tropes here. If you've ever read Peter Pan, the original book or the original play, you'll know for a fact that the depiction of Tiger Lily and her tribe is just horrendous. I mean, it is of the time, but that doesn't excuse it. In terms of the language used, which there's a lot of slurs, Native American slurs, the way their dialogue is written is incredibly offensive. So clearly I had to adapt that. There's also some bits related to kind of sexism that I have changed so that essentially the sexism is not tolerated. And also, interestingly, I made a change kind of inspired by the National Theatre production of Peter Pan. And actually I've made Captain Hook a woman in this version. I think it plays well. So at some point I'm going to do that. Essentially, it comes to reaching out and gathering a cast of actors to do it. And I've reached out to some people, and I've got some yeses from exciting people on this one. It's just literally when I'm going to be able to organise that to do it. It's not going to be able to happen for, oh my gosh, this week. It's not going to happen for their larger Stream It Beat It campaign at the end of this year. It's going to take some time to do that one. But when I can do that, that is going to be wonderful. But I did think for this, I could actually read the original Peter Pan book on stream over a series of nights, and I decided against it again for that racism reason. I could kind of hope that I could make some minor tweaks to the language. Essentially, there is one specific word that is used an awful lot that starts with an R in relation to Native Americans, and my hope was that I could just essentially swap out that word for some other words. But actually, there's just so much stuff in there that is, it would require an inordinate amount of, it would require a considerable amount of work to do a lot of edits to the book to make it viable to read, and I just don't have the time to do it. And what I don't want to do is read it, even with caveats all over the place. I am not reading a book on stream that includes that kind of language and that kind of depiction of a minority group, so that's not going to happen. If I have time, and this is a big if, I might do a similar sort of thing that I considered for a long time, which is I might read Treasure Island again over a series of nights. What I would love to do is like a marathon Andy Serkis stream where I just read an entire book cover to cover. I can't schedule the time. I have a day job and I have a 5-year-old. That is not going to happen. But I would love to read a children's book, a public domain children's book. And I think Treasure Island could be quite fun. If I can't do Peter Pan, Treasure Island feels like a good substitute as something of piratey fun. So I may well do this. We shall see whether that happens or not. But I would like to. I've been wanting to do that for a while. I think it could be a lot of fun. But we shall see. Again, not a promise, but I really want to do it. Okay, what other bits and pieces? I'm aware that is generally... Normally I try and cover a bigger topic on one of these, but I've got so much kind of catching up to do, and State of the Union is a bit strong. But you know what I mean, generally what's going on with me and what's going on with creative pursuits. So I'm aware this is very much a housekeeping-y sort of stream. I mean, the other thing is generally talking, and I'm going to blow my nose here, it's generally talking about other streams I want to do, specifically gaming streams. So I very much enjoy gaming streams. I think they're an awful lot of fun. I do an awful lot of retro streams because I think they're nice for kind of one and done single streams. Because my streaming schedule, especially for games, is not as reliable as I would like, there's a risk of me doing longer games because I can't do like 5-hour streams, and because reliability of being able to do like part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4 is tough. I tend to find one and done streams like playing retro games is a good way to go. Having said that, I do need to finish The Last of Us. I am a way through The Last of Us. I've done 3 streams of it, and I have not picked that up in months. Largely because I got distracted by Dragon Age: The Veilguard, I'm not going to lie. So I want to, and I need to finish The Last of Us. I dislike leaving things unfinished, and I am very much enjoying it. If I wasn't enjoying it, I wouldn't complete it just for completionist's sake, but I definitely do want to finish playing The Last of Us, because it's an awful lot of fun. And also we've got The Last of Us Season 2, the TV show, coming out soon, so I definitely want to finish that up. So that I want to do. I think I will carry on doing retro streams because they are an awful lot of fun, and I would like to do... I'm going to regret this. I am definitely going to regret this. I think I would like to do some more horror streams. I have the capability, and I do it on my Last of Us streams, where I have my heart rate on screen using my Apple Watch. And while there aren't many jump scares in The Last of Us so far, it's a nice little thing to do. But I think it could be fun. I'm not going to lie. I played Resident Evil Biohazard a while back. I didn't do that on stream, just before I was streaming. And I played Alien Isolation a while back, again, before I was streaming. And while I enjoyed both those games, but good grief, they scared the living daylights out of me. So if I'm going to play Resident Evil Village or any more Alien games and stuff like that, I think it could be fun. I think it could be fun to do those some horror streams with the heart rate on the screen, and you can enjoy my suffering. But I think those could be a bit of fun to do. But we will see what happens with those, because yeah, I don't want to overcommit. I am very aware of the fact that I have a busy schedule in terms of day job that often requires me to be away overnight. That disrupts my streaming schedule. I have a 5-year-old. I have a family. So I don't want to overcommit on stuff, but I do want to do more streaming. I enjoy it. It helps cement my brand more, the fact that I'm making myself more and more visible as I do stuff and as I lead up to Little But Fierce Kickstarter. I think it's important for me to be doing this. So there will be more details to follow. How are we doing for time? It's past, so normally I would wrap these up at about 1:45. I'm tempted to finish this early, but let's have a think. I think in the interest of not dragging this out unnecessarily, I think we'll finish this one early today. I have successfully done the lunch chat stream that I've been putting off for. That I've been unable to do for the last few weeks and months due to scheduling and illness. So I think it's good that I managed to do this, but rather than dragging this out, because I am still a bit under the weather, I need to have some more cold and flu tablets, definitely, before I go back to work. I think we will draw this to a close and we will raid out in just a second. But it's my intention that on Wednesday we will do a lunch chat with games. We will play a board game of some sort, or a puzzle game maybe. I do want to play more puzzle games, so recommendations for good streamable puzzle games, very much appreciated. That would be an awful lot of fun. But let's wrap this up with the usual sort of gubbins. So if you have enjoyed this, my name is DC Bradshaw. Places you can find me are on Twitch and YouTube. I'm at DC Bradshaw on both of them, and I stream simultaneously on both. So you could be watching me on either or both. Both is very much appreciated. It ups my watch hours on both. I generally stream Mondays and Wednesday lunchtimes, as well as evening streams where I do gaming stuff. If you want to follow me on the socials, you can find me on Blue Sky at dcbradshaw.com. You can find me on Threads at DC Bradshaw. I do also have a Facebook, which is at DC Bradshaw RPG. I don't use it as much, but it is there if you would like to. I also have a Ko-Fi. Let's point to the right place. It's there. So if you'd like to support me doing any of my creative things, my Ko-Fi is the place to do that. You can subscribe for just £3 a month, and basically that pays towards subscriptions for stuff. I don't really consider it profits that I'm getting from that. It's literally paying for things like my Zoom subscription, so I can make episodes of Shought Thorts and the like, and pays for my podcast hosting. So yeah, if you'd like to contribute in any way, £3 a month, that makes a huge difference to me, so please consider that. And you get access to tabletop RPG content, like you get access to works in progress, you get some exclusive stuff, you get things like my work in progress Norse mythology, Viking-y sort of 5th edition source book called Children of the Frozen North. So if that's your jam, £3 a month, have a look, see if you like it, and you get my heartfelt thanks as well. I think that's about it. Other than the fact that please watch Shought Thorts. Last episode of this season is coming out on Friday, and please go and rewatch all those episodes. Recommend them to people. It's a snowball getting it rolling. It's exactly that. The more people watch it, the more I get watch hours, the more the YouTube algorithm feeds it and stuff like that. So please share it with people. Pick an episode you like, recommend it to 2 people. I'd really appreciate it. That would be awesome. So let's see who's about for the raiding. We have Sir Hannah and we have Eminog. Well, as we had a little campaign in KK stream to get Eminog up to 400 followers, I think that is where we're going to go. So if you are in Twitch land, we're going to raid across over to Eminog. Right. And if you're in YouTube land, you're just going to get my closing screen for a minute. Hope you have a wonderful day. I will hopefully see you all on Wednesday. And until then, take care of yourselves, all right? Bye.